Welcome to the podcast where Mercury is always in retrograde. My name is Erin. I am a host trapped in this podcast, and I am here with my perpetual guest, Liz Coleman.
I am also trapped in this podcast, never to be able to leave. And Mercury is out of retrograde.
We have finally slipped out of the vice grip of Mercury's cold hands.
It's the end of retrograde.
It is the end of retrograde, and also when this episode goes up, it's also gonna be a full moon tonight.
On March 9th?
Yes, that's correct.
Whoa!
Full fucking moon. So fun fact, full moon in March is a worm moon.
A worm?
A worm?
What does that mean?
So you know, like the whatever, like all the different
No, I don't know.
that, like every month has a theme. So when a full moon falls into that month, it's that month's theme. So for example, May, the flower moon. So when Vampire Weekend had come out with their album Father of the Bride, there was that song Flower Moon, and then when May had come around and the full moon was there, it was like a flower moon, but also it was a blue moon, which was super special, so very strong energies. But in China, the moon is full moon in March is known as the sleepy moon. So happy sleepy moon / worm moon, y'all.
Happy sleepy worm moon.
Sleepy worm moon.
That worm is fucking tired. Let him sleep.
Let that worm take a nap. The space landing was faked because we would have seen the sleepy worm moon.
Stop. Okay, deadass. Why was the flag moving if fucking wind on the moon? That's all I have to say.
We gotta do a conspiracy theories episode.
What?
We have to do a conspiracy theories episode.
That's such a good idea.
But unfortunately today's topic is not conspiracy theories. It is our last iteration of VIBECHECK. I'm sad to see it go, but I love to see it leave.
Yeah, I mean, I think this vibe check format is really fun, and like, it lets us talk about whatever we want, but I think it also made me realize that I have no interests.
I'm actually a lot more boring than I let on.
Yeah, I'm like, why do I find absolutely nothing interesting?
I mean, I think it's just that these episodes are recorded a little too close to each other, so
3 weeks in a row, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot, but it was a nice break. We do return to form next week. Oh, I think. Whatever. But that's not important. So the vibe check is going to be, again, in the format of taboo rules, where we will go through a topic, but through a thesaurus, so that we can do a little bit of verbal charades and get the other person to guess what we're going to be talking about. And since Liz started last week, right?
Yes.
I'll be kicking off this week's vibe check, the last kickoff. So my first topic is dignity and preconception.
Pride and Prejudice.
That's correct. Ding 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 ding.
Woo! Movie or book?
What?
Movie or book?
My book?
Are you talking about the movie or the book?
Oh. So here, let me go into it.
Okay. Right,
so it started when I had seen a promo for the new movie Emma, and they look really good, and that made me think of Emma Approved, which is a YouTube series. So I don't know if you watched the YouTube series where they had remade a lot of the Jane Austen novels.
No, I mean, the closest I've ever gotten was maybe watching an episode of the Lizzie Bennet Diaries.
Yeah.
But that's as close as I got.
So I had watched all of Emma Approved when it had come out, and then I watched it again following seeing that Emma promo, because I don't know how to like things in moderation. So I watched all like 90 episodes of that,
Oh my god, 90 episodes on YouTube?
Well, they're all like less than 5 minutes, so it's not a big deal. But
Is
watched
it the same people who made Lizzie
Lizzie
Bennett
Bennett
Diaries?
Diaries. Yeah. But that made me want to watch Lizzie Bennett Diaries, so then I watched Lizzie Bennett Diaries, and I remembered so much about what I loved about that, which was like, that was my first time, like, I mean, that was a venture that was done by the Vlogbrothers, who at the time I was really into.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had watched the first episode and went, I love this, and I hate that I didn't read the book, so then I read the book before watching another episode. And this was, I mean, back in middle school or high school or whenever that had come out. And I had watched, and so I read the book, and then I watched all of Lizzie Bennett Diaries, loved it, absolutely, like, loved the way that they reimagined a lot of the characters. And I also loved the book. It was so fucking good, and I absolutely cannot get enough of it. And then I rewatched the 2005 Pride and Prejudice movie starring Keira Knightley. That fucking made me cry my eyes out. And
Honest then God, a cinematic masterpiece, dead ass. I will play that movie at my funeral. I am obsessed with that movie. I have literally no words for it.
It drives me up a fucking wall how much this movie has affected me, how much it has impacted me. Like, I can't even begin to describe how much that movie did. Like, that's a cultural reset. That's a cultural fucking reset if I've ever heard of the term and saw the word. Like, that is literally what I would immediately think of. It's just so iconic. And also, the film soundtrack. Listening to it on my commute has been... It cleansed me.
Actually insane. Actually insane.
Your hands are cold?
Stop. Your hands are cold.
Kills me. It fucking kills me. Letter to Henry Purcell.
The world.
Liz on Top of the World.
Absolutely insane. I go feral for that song.
It had no right. Honestly, like, Keira Knightley had no right to look like that. Whoever played Darcy had no right. Fucking...
Not James McAvoy.
No, because that Keira Knightley and James McAvoy is Atonement.
Right.
Which was also...
I'm mixing up my period pieces.
Atonement was also a banger, but yeah, I mean, and then I reread the book this week. Having gone through...
You reread Pride and Prejudice?
Yes, I reread the entirety of Pride and Prejudice. I did not sleep on, I think it was Wednesday night or Thursday night. I literally just did not sleep. I stayed up all night watching the Pride and Prejudice movie, and then I stayed up rereading the entirety of Pride and Prejudice as a result.
Oh my god.
I can normally fixate onto things and enjoy them in moderation.
Holy shit, Aaron.
So I'm on my second reread of the book right now because I don't know what's wrong with me. Like,
Wait, you read it last week and now you're rereading it again?
Yeah.
You should have told me. I would have read it.
I'm in the middle of the reread, so you can join me. I'm only on chapter 10.
Oh, amazing. I'll just jump right in.
Yeah. You'll catch up to me in no time.
I've never read it.
What?
I've never read it before.
Okay, Liz, like, when I tell you that this book is so formative to who I am as a person, it is so fucking formative for me, personally. But also, like, I think for a lot of people, like, this is definitely a story that resonates with a lot of people. There's a reason why it's been remade into, like, so many different iterations. They all the iterations do something different with, like, this whole piece. I think what's interesting about Pride and Prejudice is that it's told in a third-person omniscient.
Do you see the glazed look in my eyes? What does that mean?
You read so many books. It means that you know what is happening. Like, you know every single character's motives, you know how every character is feeling at one time, so one thing happens, and you immediately know, like, Caroline is jealous of this, and Mr. Darcy feels this, and Elizabeth Bennet feels this, and her sister feels this, and, like, you know everyone's kind of situation, but in that way you kind of get to, like, have you're in the know of like what's happening. So like you can see Darcy falling in love with Elizabeth. You can see her growing more and more distrustful of him, but she's letting this like opinion of him kind of form to whatever she kind of wants. But it's such a good story. I love Jane Austen's work, but especially the story so much. And yeah, that's my first thing.
Yeah, the 2005 movie holds like a very special place in my heart. I grew up with it. Like my mom and I watch it at least 4 times a year.
Aww.
Like I literally have lines memorized. I had the soundtrack on like my second iPod ever. Like
Wait,
I'm actually
really?
obsessed with it. Yeah.
That's
so it's
so
like kind of shocking
sweet.
me that I haven't read the book yet, but
You would like it. It's a really good book. Like it actually does hold up to the standards of like the movie versus the book and versus like kind of your expectations of what it's going to be, because like
right.
you know, having grown up, like it's not like this is a book that came out when we were growing up. This is a book that's been out. And so like we definitely have some preconceived notions about like the way that it would be, but it's really good. It's like it holds its own, and I love it so much. It is so wonderful, and yeah, everyone should read it / watch it / also support the Lizzie Bennet Diaries. Although, speaking of, you did watch that YouTube series that was in the same way, where like someone was vlogging and then that was supposed to be telling a story.
I was just going to talk about that. Yeah, I feel like because I remember I had a friend in high school who was really into the Lizzie Bennet Diaries. And I remember being told around, I think like 2010, 2011, like right when I really started getting into Tumblr, that I should watch the Lizzie Bennet Diaries. And I watched like maybe 1 or 2 episodes, was like, okay, this is like an interesting format and like not something that I've seen before. And I just like could not get into it at that point. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to watch it. And then past couple years, I watched this web series called Carmilla, which is a similar take on the whole like webcam vlogging video type thing turned into a narrative. So the series is actually based on a classic novel called Carmilla by this French author, and the novel's about this young naive girl who lives in this mansion with her father, and this vampire girl like fakes illness or something to like end up staying with her, and then like feeds on the young lady of the house and like kills a couple people. And in the web series, there's this girl who's attending this supernatural university, and her roommate is this vampire named Carmilla, and it's told through like Laura's, the main character's like online web journalism class, where she like will record like daily vlogs on her webcam, and it's kind of this like stationary camera, and like a very similar scene and a way of storytelling where they'll like come back to the dorm room and be like, oh my god, you'll never believe what happened to me on the quad just now. And then we'll like progress the plot that way. And the first season is really poorly done. Like it's just like bad, but it's like so bad that it's good. And like it gets better, and they did make a movie, which you and I saw.
We did.
And I am trash for the show, and I'm trash for the characters, and the human girl and the vampire end up falling in love, so it's gay. And,
love that.
Yeah. So I have a very soft spot in my heart for like shows with that kind of like YouTube series with that kind of format. You know?
Yeah. I was just gonna say that like that era was so specific about like, because that was when vlogging culture was a certain type of way, and that kind of story can't really get told in this kind of modern vlogging culture. Like, it really just doesn't
Totally.
exist in that way. And at the time, it was pretty realistic to like have a still camera that doesn't really move around, because like who's paying for more than one camera because they're expensive, and like vlogging was very like still, and you said whatever and then it was done. And it was pretty low production, so they were able to tell these stories and not have to put as much production value as if it were done today. Like, they would have to have more than one camera, they would have to do a lot more editing and splicing of the clips, and just a lot more like I guess back work, to just create
like,
something that would be equal to what the cultural impact would be today, as opposed to when it was first starting.
Right, like there's no way you'd be able to have just like a stationary camera and like have spurts of dialogue to like catch the viewer up on like what's going on. Like, it would just literally not fly.
Yeah, it'd be super unrealistic. They'd be like, what year is this? Fucking 2006? Not interested.
Literally,
thanks. Click off now, bitch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really respect those series for doing what they did. I will say though that like at times, it's really like, well, how much is this camera really catching? Like, it's always on at the right time, isn't it?
Right. It's like, there's no way that your webcam is recording for 24 hours straight. Like, that is literally just not correct.
And then, like, the characters are, like, keeping all these bits in there that are, like, super personal and just going, like, yeah, I'm just gonna post this on the internet. And, like, maybe that is kind of realistic, but also, like...
Like, please, have some self-respect.
Actually, I don't want to see anyone kiss. I understand, but, like, also no thanks.
Right, like, keep it to yourself. Oh my god.
Oh my god, literally. Like, I'm just gratified that it happened, but I'm also just like, edit this shit out. No fucking thanks.
Yeah.
That movie was really cute, though. I remember thinking that it was like, I'm surprised that a project like that had gotten traction so long after it had like peaked, I guess, like, because the story was done. Like, they had told the whole story, gone through most of the arc, and then afterwards it would be like, this is a story that goes beyond the original that it existed on, right?
Right. I mean, like, they had this first season, which was really low budget and like kind of corny, and it got enough traction and attention and hype that garnered 2 seasons after that. And then it ended, and I think people were just like absolutely feral and obsessed about it, because it's like, when have you ever seen like 2 queer ladies like kissing on screen casually, like in love, and also have like a lot of plot, and also like people of color and a non-binary character, and like an interesting plot line, and like okay dialogue, and like decent acting. Like, it's like okay acting, but
but still, like, that representation was so desperately needed, and people were so willing and hungry for that kind of content. So I can see how a series like that like persisted even to this day.
Yeah, right. And like, I don't know, I'm not sure when the first season of Carmilla came out, but like, I think because it had that content and that representation, that it was able to like exist in the way that it existed as this like stationary webcam show.
Right.
And also like get enough traction to be made into a movie and like kind of bump, you know, this teeny tiny show into something really big, you know?
Yeah. It's
I
wild.
think it's 6 years old.
Holy
The
shit.
first season of Carmela. So what is that? 2014?
Yeah, that makes sense. That's super wild. But also, like, 6 years of YouTube has, like, the culture has definitely grown in those 6 years.
Oh, absolutely.
That's fucking wild. So yeah, that's my that's my first topic. What's your first topic, Liz? What's your first vibe check?
My first vibe check, the taboo is adolescent recountal. My taboos are really bad. So hang with me. Stick with me here.
You're on thin fucking ice.
This one was difficult.
Okay, wait. Adolescent what?
Recountal.
Nostalgia? Are you remembering your childhood?
No.
Are you is this like a time hop situation?
No, it's not.
Mm,
Well, I mean, I guess I'm reliving my childhood in a way.
I'm gonna need you to really lean into the verbal charades part of this taboo exercise with me because your silence is deafening.
Okay, so let's break it down by the word. So the first word is the opposite of old.
Young.
Okay, second word is the opposite of child.
Young adult. Oh, are you reading YA fiction?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my god!
So I'm reading this one author's. My plan is to read this one author's entire backlist.
Jesus.
Because I have all of her books because she was my favorite young adult author when I was growing up.
Who?
This woman's name is Deb Coletti.
Okay.
And
do I know? Would any of us know?
I don't think so because she's like not super big.
Okay.
But she has a lot of books. She has a ton of books actually. I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Do you own all of her books?
Yeah, I do. I'm counting them on my shelves as we speak. But she's really good at writing these like complicated, troubled, growing into themselves, like complicated relationships with like a significant other or friends or parents.
So this is like teen coming of age stuff.
It's
okay.
Essentially all teen coming of age stuff. I think she has 1 or 2 adult books, but I haven't read them yet. But yeah, growing up, I would devour her writing in like a day. Like I would like read a book a day. I was obsessed.
Oh my god, Liz.
And like her writing was like so easy to read and like so easy to get through. And the first one I read was this book called The Nature of Jade, which is about this girl who has like a really bad anxiety disorder and like doesn't want to leave her house and like can't function whatsoever because she's so anxious and ends up like watching this elephant webcam from the local zoo to like calm herself down. And she sees this guy on there with a kid and he goes there every day with this kid. Aww. And so she sees them every day and kind of becomes like fascinated and like fixated on this guy to the point where she like gets up the courage to like leave the house and go to the zoo to like meet them. Mm-hmm. And like they end up falling in love and like he helps her and she helps him. And it's just like stories like that.
That's wild.
I'm literally absolutely obsessed with. So the one that I'm reading now is called The Queen of Everything. Mm-hmm. And it's about this girl who lives on this, I think Pacific Northwest island. I don't know. But she lives with her dad after moving out of her mother's house, because her mother's this like hippy dippy, like married a younger man, had a baby at the age of 40, like really strict with her daughter, and like owns a hotel kind of person. And like this girl's like, I just want a regular. What?
I said, ew, a capitalist.
And this girl's like, well, I literally just want to live like a normal teenage life, and so like goes to live with her dad. But like her dad is having an affair with one of her neighbors who like is married. So she's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why would you do this? And then I think someone ends up getting murdered, but I don't think I this one. So I'm like experiencing this for the first time.
Holy shit, Liz. Is this her adult book, or is this the one that teenagers are reading?
This is young adult. This is a young adult book.
I have no words. What the fuck?
She's good. She's a really good author. I don't know.
I mean, that's just wild, like but like in a way that like is not. It doesn't sound like it's a bad book, you know? Like it doesn't sound like it's a trash novel where like all kinds of shit happens and like you're like
right, like it's interesting and okay. And like I've been in a reading slump for the past like month and a half. Like I literally don't want to read anything. Mm-hmm. And I was desperately trying to claw my way out of the slump to be like, please, like, you just have to read something. Mm-hmm. Because, like, I'll feel bad if I read. Okay, so here's the quandary that I'm experiencing. Is that I feel guilty for not monetizing all my time. So if I, like, spend time reading, I'm like, oh my god, I'm not doing something productive.
Okay, yeah.
But if I'm not reading, I'm like, oh my god, I'm not reading.
Yeah, so, I understand that.
Anyway, thanks for being my therapist. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, so I started this book as a way to, like, get myself back into reading and, like, feel okay about reading again and, like, have something quick and easy to digest and, like, something fun to read. Plus, I like doing, like, little reading challenges. So I feel like challenging myself to read this entire author's backlist might be kind of fun.
It'll be fun, and that's good. I mean, it's good that you recognize that, and, like, I think there's something to be said about, like, rereading books and also just, like, reading books that'll make you happy, like, and consuming content that'll make you happy. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, why bore yourself? I don't know.
Exactly, like, why am I punishing myself for something that makes me happy?
Those all sound like interesting stories also. Like, none of it has sounded like, oh, I can tell what's gonna happen. Like, no, all of these are wild. What the fuck?
It keeps me interested.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my god, that's incredible.
Also, I think there's I would like to say some words on the naming of characters in novels, particularly romance novels.
Ooh, spill the tea.
These authors are fucking bad at naming.
These authors go to babynames.com and they go, give me the most hippie shit that I can ever get. And then you're like, Roseanne Quartz.
Dead ass.
You're like, okay. Yeah, that's the protagonist.
So I've experienced one really bad name in this book. And that name is Kale Kramer.
Like, as in the vegetable.
Yes, the leafy green kale. Kramer.
As in like vegetable Seinfeld.
Dead ass, yes.
Is it even like spelled different, or is it dead ass just those things?
Kale space Kramer. Kale Kramer.
That is unadulterated vegetable Seinfeld content right there.
It's just like, it's so funny to me. And then this name kind of like threw me back to the time I read a book called It Ends With Us, written by Colleen Hoover.
Oh my god, the infamous.
Colleen Hoover makes me so mad, and I won't get into it, but she fucking writes garbage books. She writes the worst books I have ever read in my entire life. And there was a couple weeks before the holidays, or maybe it was during the holidays, where I was like, I'm going to read a lot of Colleen Hoover's backlist because maybe there's one good one, and I haven't found it. Every fucking book I read was garbage.
There's no one more polarizing in the space of like booktube, but also just like young adult literature as Colleen Hoover. Like
everyone
somehow so fucking successful, and yet somehow the most garbage fucking books.
It doesn't make sense to me because every person I watch on BookTube hates Colleen Hoover. Every person I watch on BookTube is like, Colleen Hoover is absolute garbage. Except for like one booktuber that I'm like, okay, maybe Colleen Hoover is good. Which like enrages me. But what enrages me more is that everything she writes is so problematic and like really kind of clickbaity and like just like really bad, and like I say the same things about John Green and Hank Green, and I know that like people are gonna come for my fucking neck when I say this, but when John Green writes a book, he literally takes out like a spinner, like a wheel of fortune, and with every kind of mental illness or like psychological disorder on it, and goes, what am I writing about this time, ladies? And it's like, oh, social anxiety and depression and agoraphobia, like, great, this is what I'm writing about. And like, it drives me insane. It literally drives me insane. And I feel like Colleen Hoover does exactly the same thing, where she'll be like, what kind of broken home are we writing about today, ladies?
I think it like, really...
What are we gonna say?
I was gonna say, I think it points out the problems with the book publishing industry, where like there are these possibilities where like bad writing doesn't like gets pushed through anyway, because in this whole process of like checks and balances, what they don't account for is like sales and marketing is a big part of the reason why a book gets published, and also like a big following is a big contributor to that. So someone like Hank and John Green, they already have this like gigantic cult-like following, so anything that they put out is going to get published. And with Colleen Hoover, like her books are able to be marketed so well and so easily. Like you can literally write these synopses that are going to sell books like hotcakes, even if they're hot shit, and it's like it gets published anyway because they can sell well, and that's it. That's literally the only value that it brings.
She also has like a feral following,
yeah,
which must be made up of like middle-aged women or something like that, because like there's no way that like young people are reading these books and going, oh, this is good literature, because it's not. It's literally garbage. And like what confuses me the most is that all these books are rated almost 5 stars on Goodreads. Every single one of her books are almost 5 stars on Goodreads, and I'm like, who the fuck is giving these books 5 stars?
Doesn't every book get like 5-star ratings though on Goodreads?
No!
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I just don't use the platform, so except to find quotes.
No, Goodreads, honestly, it is the place where I go to like check whether or not I should purchase a book, if it's like good or bad. Which, like, maybe I should stop doing that, because, honest to God, look at Colleen Hoover's page is, like, literally riddled with 5 stars when none of these books deserve 5 stars.
I mean, like, yeah, that's true.
When I read 5 of my lowest rated books I had on my to-be-read shelf, and I based the ratings off of the ratings on Goodreads, and all these books I read were, like, bad. Well, okay, well, like... 3 out of 5 of them were really bad, and like 2 of them I kind of liked, but like I don't know. I think it's kind of accurate, except for Colleen Hoover's page.
I do notice, and I heard of this problem on Goodreads. Apparently, I haven't seen it myself. Where apparently writers of color will have a harder time having a higher rating on Goodreads. You know, people tend to be less kind to writers of color, but again, I haven't witnessed this phenomena, so I really can't speak to it more than that.
I mean, I probably believe it, and I have not also experienced that, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of books out there also. Like, there's so many books. How are you supposed to read all of them?
It stresses me out, because I'm like, how am I going to read all these books in my lifetime? I'm not.
I hate that. I hate that.
Me too. So anyway, that's my first taboo thing that I'm proud about.
I love that. I'm
Thank you.
so proud of you for getting yourself out of that reading slump.
I'm going,
That's fucking
throwing
tough.
myself back to the 8th grade and really buckling down with some of these.
I love that you were like kind of ashamed of the fact that you had a 1.5 month book slump when I have been in like a 2-year book slump. So just reading the same 6 books for the past like since 2016.
It's fine.
I
It's
haven't
fine.
read a
Literally.
new book in 1.5 months. Huh.
Stop.
Nerd. Look at you.
Me.
Flexing on me with your literacy.
Look at me, a nerd. All right, what's your second one?
My second one is, it's one word. Spasm.
Cramp?
No, it's like an involuntary muscle contraction, but one word.
Wink?
Involuntary, when you, like when you get zapped and then your whole arm contracts, that's a...
A sneeze?
No. This is a platform where people
Oh.
go onto it, and then it's live, and they have their own set of emojis. I'm trying not to give it away.
Twitch.
Yes, it's Twitch.
I thought you were going to talk about TikTok, and I was like, dude, no way, me too. No, I'm kidding.
No. No, although that is a close second, but no, the platform that I'm going to be talking about today is Twitch, which I know you also watch people on Twitch.
Yeah.
But I really like the platform, and what I'm going to actually be speaking about is a specific Twitch streamer, but I didn't want to use their name because like a name is not fucking fair in a taboo game.
Right.
But this Twitch streamer that I watch, his name is Wayne Radio TV. Have you heard of him?
No, please explain.
So Wayne Radio TV, he just does a lot of VR stuff mostly, but it's not just VR. He plays a lot of game. A lot of his highlights are on YouTube, so I highly recommend that. But he had a stream a couple weeks ago that I did watch, and I caught some of it. And he has this virtual son, 2 years old, named Joshua, and he's a little robot boy. And his voice comes over the intercom of the game, and so they were playing AI Dungeon with this like 2-year-old boy, 2-year-old AI robot boy, and it is the funniest fucking stream I have ever witnessed in my entire life. This man becomes broken. First of all, this guy, his day job is like pet, like he takes care of dogs or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a dog groomer or dog walker of some kind.
Okay.
Or whatever. Everyone makes jokes that he abuses the dogs, but he's really nice.
Oh my god.
Because they bully him. And then him and his friends will like just jump on and like goof around, and it's a lot of fun. But this stream where he and his son Joshua are trying to like create this story through AI Dungeon 2 is so good. I highly, highly recommend it. His son is just like jumping in, going like cowboys, and then they end up on Neopets, and he's like, which Neopet do you want? And he goes, I want the fat fuck. And he's like, Daddy, can you show me pictures of eels?
I'm confused. So, like, does this little boy actually exist?
No. I am pretty sure it's like a
Is he like a
combination
plugin?
of... Huh?
Is it like a plugin on his computer?
It's some kind of setup where he has... Like, some of it is automated, I'm pretty sure, but a lot of it is, like, input from his friends, so they're all just trying to fuck with him.
Okay.
And that's, that's the common theme in a lot of the bits that they do. But the way that they do bits, the way that they like tell these jokes, it's very reminiscent. It reminds me a lot of like the way that we talk, which I really enjoy. Um,
Hmm.
and it is so funny, just like the shit that this kid will say, and it's like, the stream is actually he had started with Splitter Steel VR, which is I actually don't know if that one's VR, but that one's like a game where you have to split or steal a certain amount of money and then you progress through and you play with people online. But then it quickly spirals into this fucking nightmare and it's just so much fun and I highly recommend his channel, but especially that fucking stream because oh my god, there were tears streaming down my face on several occasions. Like it was just so fucking funny.
What's that guy's name? D Wayne TV?
No. It's Wayne Radio TV. WAYNE.
Imagine
Radio
I wasn't
TV.
stupid.
You are not stupid. They put a lot of work into some of these bits that like make no sense. I'm part of the Discord channel and it's a lot of fun. Just like it's so good, so good. And he also recently decided to go full time on Twitch, at least for the summer. See how that goes. So
Oh my God,
I'm very excited
amazing.
for some new content.
That's
Yeah.
great. I love Twitch and I love watching people stream, but I think it would be literally so fun to stream.
Ooh.
I just like I don't know how to do it.
Oh, okay. Shit, I didn't know that was something that you were like thinking about though, because like I
So-
feel like there's a lot of pressure.
There is a lot of pressure because it's like not only are you playing this game, but you also like have to be like entertaining these people that are watching,
Yeah, exactly.
and you have to like talk and like be personable.
Yeah.
I was talking to my friend Emily, and she actually was like, I think you and Aaron would be so funny if you guys streamed like Animal Crossing, or Minecraft, or Stardew Valley.
Oh my god, yes!
She was like, it would be like the podcast, but like with video games. And I'm like, okay, why is that a good idea?
Wait, why is that actually so fucking fun? I love that.
Right? Like, I just don't know how to do it when you gotta get a capture card and like, I don't.
Oh, I know how to do it.
Oh. Oh, she
There-
knows how to do it.
Well, because there are like a lot of different programs, and like at one point I did try and stream some content at one point, but we don't have to get into that right now.
Oh, what?
I may have run a couple of streams in my lifetime, but that's something else. Anyway, what's your taboo topic, Liz? What's your next taboo topic?
Okay, well, thanks for sharing, Wayne Radio TV, Aaron. That's something that I will definitely be checking out.
Thank you. Everyone, please check out this person. They're a great creator. Their bits are so fucking funny. I literally cannot express to you how fucking funny they are. Yeah.
And
Their
maybe
YouTube has all their highlights, so it's a lot easier to like digest that stuff.
Okay, so maybe I'll start there and then go to the full stream if I feel.
Yeah, I'll send you the link to the stream and specifically the part where Joshua jumps in because that's the best shit.
Oh my god, I can't wait. That's amazing.
Anyway, for real though, what is your second taboo topic?
My second taboo topic is, bear with me, first vowel, C, opposite of less.
Okay, wait. First vowel, C. Animal Crossing? No.
Well, you have the right idea. Opposite of less.
AC Moore!
Yeah, boy.
Oh,
So-
shit!
So, yeah, sad news. My local AC Moore is going out of business.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Liz.
It's
I'm sorry for your loss.
Okay. It's like in, it was like bound to happen because it was in this like shopping center with Toys R Us. Okay, so the big hitting in its prime, the shopping center was like a Toys R Us and AC Moore. There was a Pathmark, which was like a grocery store, a Payless shoes, and like a it's essentially was like a small mall.
Full of
Like,
soon-to-be dead, decaying establishments.
yeah. Yes. So it is now essentially a dead mall, which I think I find dead malls super interesting. Like, just like the whole concept of like what used to be is now gone.
Yeah.
And like, there's some dude that I used to watch on YouTube who would do like this dead mall series, and he would like go to malls that were like used to be super populated and are now are like completely empty and desolate.
He's funny. Yeah.
He is super funny. But yeah, so first the Toys R Us closed.
Right.
No, first the Pathmark closed.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like the big thing in the mall. So then all the littler stores started to close. And then the Payless closed. And then once the Payless closed, Toys R Us closed.
Yeah.
Which was a sad day. And then AC Moore was like, we are also closing. Which is a big bummer to me because I would go to AC Moore for fabric specifically, for embroideries that I would do.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty much primarily it because like you can get fat quarters for like super cheap there. And like everything else is like kind of very expensive, but like I don't know, I like having my like designated like craft stores where I get specific things.
Yeah, because then you know when you know what's gonna be there, and you know when they're gonna restock, and you know like
Exactly.
what's gonna be, like what to expect.
Right. So now I have to convert myself to a full-on Michael's hoe, which is fine, I guess. But because this AC Moore is going out of sale or going out of business, they have everything on like super liquidation sale, which is like very exciting to me. And we're finally getting to the point where like everything is like now 50% or more on sale, except for yarn, which is like a bummer. But
really,
yeah, yarn is still only 40%, and I think that's because they know that people want the yarn the most.
Yeah, literally.
So they're like holding back. But all of their like art supplies are 50% off. All their seasonal stuff is super marked down. They brought in a lot of like shit from like the liquidator, like a bunch of like as seen on TV kind of products, which is like kind of a bummer, but whatever.
Yeah.
But what I am excited about and what I have been absolutely feral about is all of their embroidery stuff, like embroidery hoops and embroidery floss, are all 50% off.
Ooh.
So hoops that were originally $2 and now are $1, and all of the embroidery floss is 28 cents instead of 56 cents.
Okay,
So,
but still, like it adds up, cause like
it really does.
I have balled out at a Michael's, at a Blink, Jesus, not at the gym, but at Blick, at AC Moore. Like I've literally like thought I got a decent amount of stuff, and then it comes out to like fucking $60, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like I'm standing at checkout going like, I literally bought $60 worth of art supplies.
Yeah, art supplies are stupid expensive. So, and like embroidery stuff can also get really expensive when you're paying like $1.50 for like smaller hoops and like $2 for bigger hoops. And so like having these hoops for $1 were like really exciting for me.
Yeah.
And also all these threads, I was like, this is amazing. So because I don't know how to like buy supplies in moderation, I've literally just been stocking up. Like I'm never gonna see another embroidery hoop ever again in my entire life.
Never for these prices, baby.
Exactly. I'm like, these prices are fucking amazing. I walk in, I grab handfuls of embroidery floss, literally armfuls of embroidery hoops. I'm like, let's fucking go. I'm ready to embroider.
I love that though.
I've just been feral. I've just been like truly on that AC Moore bullshit. buying supplies.
And it's just, but it's just that AC Moore, right? Like, it's not all the AC Moores are going out of business.
I heard that it is all the AC Moores, but like I am not 100% sure.
What?
I asked my mom today. We were at AC Moore, and I was like, "Is this the only AC Moore closing, or are there others closing?" And she was like, "I think it's just this one."
Okay.
Or no, she was like, "I think it's all of them."
Liz, this isn't a fucking joke. Do you understand how much is on the line here?
Yeah, I know. I love AC Moore. It literally was it was heartbreaking to me. CNN is saying AC Moore is closing all of its stores. The company is 34 years old.
Okay, and Hobby Lobby gets to fucking take all of its business and use it as a front to steal art from the Middle East during the war and somehow stay in business, but AC Moore and honest fucking to God, I bought 3 doorknobs from Hobby Lobby and I will never go back there again. Is it because of that scandal or is it because of your own experience?
No, I mean, my experience there was quite pleasant, but it is because of that scandal and also because I walked in and they were shoving Catholicism down my throat.
Hate those.
So I was like, nah, no.
No, nothing turns me off so much as the whole, like, missionary kind of wild-ass shit that happens. Like, there's Jehovah's Witnesses around my fucking neighborhood, and, like, the amount of pamphlets that I'll get, and I have to just shove into my purse and go, not interested, but thank you.
Oh my god. I literally cannot imagine.
No, it's terrible.
So,
one of them followed me home.
My business... What? What the fuck?
Yeah, one was, like, following me. Like, literally, I tried to cross the street. Like, I literally jaywalked down the street to try and, like, chase this woman off, and she literally would not leave me alone. So...
Oh my god. Call the police. No, I'm serious. That's fucking...
I mean, I should have, but I did not, because I'm stupid. But whatever.
Should have taken a video of her and been like, get the fuck away from me.
I really should have, but instead my rational mind was like...
Okay,
buy a baton.
Honestly,
buy a baton off of Amazon and beat the next Jehovah's Witness who tries to talk to you. Beat their ass with a telescopic baton.
Oh my god, right, you have that thing.
I do have it. It's because of her.
Oh my god, no it's not.
Yes, ma'am.
What? You're gonna get arrested, Aaron. You better.
I'm not gonna use it.
What?
I'm not gonna use it. It just makes me feel safe. That's all it is. It's just like a little placebo in my bag.
Okay.
You know, most people like take pills, and I keep a telescopic baton in my purse.
Oh my god.
It's a little sugar pill, but like in the form of a telescopic baton.
It's a sugar pill. Alright, so yeah, I'm taking my business now to Michael's and Joann's Fabrics. Fuck Hobby Lobby. R.I.P. AC Moore.
Retweet. Drop an F in chat for AC Moore.
Literally slamming my finger against the F key. Thank you.
Pay respects. Pay respects.
Alright, last one. What's yours, Aaron?
Here we go. My third topic is, and this is a 2-word thing, but I'm going to use 3 words to describe it. Infant with powers.
Oh, infant with powers. Baby Yoda?
Yes.
Oh my god.
I have fully regressed back into my Baby Yoda bullshit. I've watched these videos and cried. Baby Yoda compilations where he makes that ooh ah sound, like baby sounds. He makes these baby sounds and I love it and I cry.
Him in that spaceship with that man in the white suit. Okay, so obviously you can tell that I don't watch Star Wars, nor do I give a flying fuck about Star Wars. But the one where he's in that spaceship turning the music on and off, and the man is like, "Stop it!" and Baby Yoda makes that noise.
like in the original clip, he's just pressing buttons. Like he presses a bunch of buttons and he goes, "Stop touching things."
Oh wow, he's not actually turning music on in the spaceship.
No, he just keeps touching things and it makes like these little sounds because they're like it's a spaceship.
But doesn't he make a little noise?
Yeah, I mean it rattles the ship after he like presses it again, but there's no music playing in the original.
Doesn't the stormtrooper pick Baby Yoda up and Baby Yoda makes a noise?
Yes.
Little noise.
He goes to turn off the thing and then he picks up the baby and he goes wee. There was this article written by this person who I don't remember anymore, but like they were talking about Baby Yoda and they were like, looking at him brings me physical pain, and I was like, yeah, I feel seen. Like, I don't know why, but like looking at this baby, I have zero desire to have a child of my own. Like maybe adopt, but like I really don't have any desire to like get pregnant and give birth from my own womb.
Right.
But I would fuck whatever would give me
Stop.
a Baby Yoda.
Stop, Aaron.
My loins are ripe for a Baby Yoda.
Aaron, stop! Oh my god.
I love him so much.
I think the most jarring thing I heard last year, or this year, in the past year, is that Yoda isn't actually Yoda's name. No, Yoda is Yoda's name.
Yes, but the baby is just called the child in the show. He's not actually related to Yoda, as far as we know.
Right. But it literally took me so long to wrap my head around. I was like, what do you mean he's not related to Yoda? What do you mean his name
Because
is
you
not
hated
Yoda?
him until you realized that was not actually Yoda.
Wait, what?
You didn't like him because you thought that was Yoda, but then you realized that it wasn't Yoda, and then you were like, I'm opening my heart to him.
Right, because I don't like Yoda. I don't like him.
You, who has not seen a single Star Wars.
I think he's irritating, and I don't like the way that he speaks or looks. So, I mean, I just feel a lot of resentment towards him. And so then when I saw Baby Yoda, I was like, ugh, bringing him back, but like I guess they're just gonna shrink him down and make him look cute so people love him. And then I realized that it wasn't the Yoda that everyone knows and loves. It was a different Yoda. And instead, Yoda is not just a singular being, but instead there is a whole species of these Yodas, which the species is unnamed, correct?
Yes, remains unnamed.
Like, what the fuck does that mean? What do you mean the species doesn't have a name?
Because we don't know. We just don't know.
There's obviously more than one of them, so why isn't it named?
Because that's the whole thing, is that like they are obviously an extinct species. When you come into the story.
So why is there two?
Huh?
Why are there two of them?
So there's like a lot. There's a gap in the in the time that they drop you into where the Mandalorian starts. So when the Mandalorian starts, like you have an understanding of like some of the history, but you know that there's like severe gaps in what is happening and how this fits into the rest of the lore. I mean, it's like these are happening on planets within galaxies. You know, like there's not a singular trace of every single thing that's happening. There's no like linear history being made of like every single planet on in every single galaxy. So like, the thing is like there's this understanding that like we can't know everything. You know what I mean?
Star Wars just confuses the shit out of me, and I think I'm literally just too stupid to wrap my head around it. So I'm just gonna sit here and say yes, I understand it all, and Baby Yoda is great, and too bad that he is extinct.
I mean, that's not okay. Wait, don't twist my fucking words here. Don't try. Like, it's just yes, he exists within the context of the show, but like his whole thing is that, and like my whole thing with loving him is just that like I think that he is just really cute, and somehow in an unexplainable way he has touched the hearts of millions,
He is literally so
especially
cute.
known unhinged director Werner Herzog. And
Is that the guy who cried when he saw him for the first time?
yes.
Isn't that he killed a man, right? And then he still cried when he saw this Baby Yoda.
No, he pointed a gun at one of the actors that he was directing.
Oh, okay. So no one died, but like
No one died, but he did point a gun at his head. And
then he saw Baby Yoda and cried.
yeah. He doesn't know anything about Star Wars either. He just walked into the set and was like crying looking at this baby. He also would apparently like talk to the baby between takes.
He would talk to it?
Yeah, he would like talk to the puppet.
Would it say anything back?
No, because it's a puppet, Liz. Jesus fucking Christ. I know you don't know anything about Star Wars, but please.
Yeah, I think Baby Yoda is really going to be this kind of like cultural phenomenon that's going to like resonate with a ton of people, because it's like he literally just showed up one day looking fucking cute as anything, and literally a bazillion people fell in love with him. He became so many memes.
Yes.
He has his own Build-A-Bear. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
We went to Build-A-Bear the other day, and there were signs advertising Baby Yoda, who was coming soon. Build your own Baby Yoda at Build-A-Bear.
I'm not ready. I really want Baby Yoda merch. I want Baby Yoda merch so badly. I want him to be in my life, like in some kind of physical form. If he's not going to be alive, I want him in every way that I can replace an actual living Baby Yoda.
People have been like crocheting little Baby Yodas.
Yep.
I've seen a ton of like, not Baby Yoda embroideries, but like a Baby Yoda art.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of content out there that I could be supporting, but I don't have money. But I mean, here's the other thing, is that like in the story, I was like under the impression that the Mandalorian like would slowly grow to love Baby Yoda, but no, it's an immediate thing that happens out of nowhere and is not explained. They're just like, he loves him now. That's his son. That's his boy. And I was like, yeah, that's what happened to the rest of us, but like I didn't expect that to be the story. That's literally the story, is that like he like literally looks at this baby and goes, "That's my son. That's my boy."
Oh my god.
Don't fuck with my kid. Show? I watched half of the season. I don't have Disney Plus, so I have to illegally I have to torrent all the episodes, and it's really like a fucking hack job because I haven't had to torrent something since like fucking 2005, so I'm really rusty as shit. Need a VPN. The other thing that I wanted to point out was that my New Year's, first of all, I was high as shit. I had like literally 5 weed cookies, and I had apparently gone up to this lovely couple who had an actual real baby, and I would not stop saying Werner Herzog.
Oh my god.
Because I read that article about Werner Herzog crying when he saw Baby Yoda, and somehow in my mind they would understand if I just yelled at them his name.
You didn't say anything but that man's name, is what you're telling me.
I did not articulate a single fucking thought that was actually helpful in any way that would lead them to understand what I was trying to communicate with them.
You stress me out, Aaron.
I was high.
I know. It's so funny.
Very, very wasted. But I mean, like, I was just so in love with Baby Yoda, and it was just like this blinding force, and then I kind of backed off from it for a little while, and then I was like, maybe I should go through my Baby Yoda folder all over again, like, just to see him, because I kind of miss him. And then I went through it, and it hit me like a fucking ton of bricks. I'm back in it.
Oh my god.
My love will never die.
That's so funny. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're back in it.
Thank you.
We love Baby Yoda.
We stan him for the rest of my life. He's gonna be a baby for so long. I can't wait.
Right, because it takes him forever to grow up, right?
Yeah. He's like 50 years old.
I love it. I literally love it.
Love it.
Makes no fucking sense to me, but he's so cute.
Can't wait. So yeah, that's the last thing that I'm feral for this week. What's your last vibe check thing, Liz? Send us off with a
My
bang.
Sure. So my last thing that I'm feral about, the taboo words are film criticism on an online video streaming website.
Online video streaming website.
Yeah.
Film criticism.
It's
Is it Screen Rant? I don't understand.
No. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you because I
Sick of this shit.
This one is really a stretch. So it's movie commentary YouTube, where people sit on YouTube and talk about movies.
Are these okay? Wait. So you said these are reviews, right? Like these are not.
Well, so the ones that I've been really into as of the past couple days are ones where they'll watch really bad movies and talk about them. Really bad or like really bizarre movies and talk about them. And like kind of make it
Who are these
comedic.
channels?
Okay, so the one channel that I was really into is this guy called Elvis the Alien. And he's the one who watches the shitty horror movies. So he's watching like the Slender Man movie, The Nun. He watched this movie called The Countdown. And they're all just like C grade, really poorly produced horror movies. And he'll force himself to watch it like 2 or 3 times. He'll write a script. And then what I really like about these channels is that I don't have to watch the movie to know what he's talking about. So he'll go, I watched this movie, it was really shitty, let's get into it. And we'll essentially like watch the movie with you. And we'll like talk through the plot and like talk through what he thought was like super shitty about it, and we'll like make jokes about it, and like we'll pull clips from the movie, and like I don't know why, but that format is like so fun to digest for me and like something that I've been really into lately.
Ooh.
And it's also just like so fucking funny. Like the way he just like talks about these shitty horror movies is just like so funny.
And these are long form videos.
Yeah, so they're like 20 to 30 minute videos.
Wow, holy shit. But I mean, he's probably also like like you said, you don't have to watch these movies, saving you a lot of time by like just skipping to the parts that have like good bit material.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Wow, I love that.
So I watched his Slenderman video and the Nun video like a while ago, and I remember being like super funny, but recently he came back into my recommended feed on YouTube, and I watched him watch this movie called The Countdown, which is about this app that all these people download called Countdown. Yeah, it's like, it was an actual movie, I think, that was like out in movie theaters.
Yes, I remember this movie. I remember the promos for it.
But yeah, so essentially you download this app and it'll like tell you when you're gonna die.
Yeah.
And like all these people get these apps, and the girl who plays Beck in You, Elizabeth Lale, is in it, and she gets the app and it tells her she's gonna die in like 2 days. So she's like, oh, guess I should figure out how to like live. And it's like, he watches this movie and he's like, the plot holes are literally gaping. And just like points out like how shitty all these movies are, and I don't know, it's just like, they're so fun to watch. These videos are so fun to watch.
Yeah. I can only imagine. I mean, like, I don't think I watch a lot of that. Like, if I were to go specific to that level, like, I don't think I've watched a lot of that, but I know that, like, a lot of content creators out there will watch these shitty movies and, like, give their commentary on it, and I love that because it's just so fun, and I don't have to watch it. And, yeah, like, there's a lot of bad content out there, and, like, it's just fun to see and go through and like rip these things to shreds and be like, this is terrible, awful art that is being made. Really love to see it.
Absolutely. So he's my favorite one who does shitty horror movies.
Yeah.
And then this evening, like probably an hour before we started this podcast, I started watching this other girl named Allie Hills, who's this gay woman on YouTube who makes music. She does a lot of like making vegan Arby's sandwiches and like making TikTok cocktails and like
I think I've seen
the
this
typical
person.
Yeah, the like typical like YouTube personality, very specific editing style, like
Yeah.
you would know, you would like just feel the like YouTube vibes from her if you watched her.
Yeah, I understand that.
But her video that came up was she had gotten a subscription to this streaming service called PureFlix, which is like Netflix except for Catholics.
Oh no.
Or no, Christian. Sorry.
Jesus.
And it's a Christian Netflix, and it's like Christian movies only.
Oh Jesus. Oh no.
So she watched this one movie about this guy who was Amish, and apparently when you're Amish, you're at the age of 18, you're given this thing where you're like allowed to leave the like Amish village. I don't know the name of it, but she kept saying it 100 times, and it was literally not processing in my mind. And you're like allowed to leave the town and like live in the real world, and if you want to come back, you can come back, but you can also like leave for good.
Yeah.
And like leave everyone and everything you know behind. So this guy leaves for good and like moves to Hollywood to become like a movie star, and a bunch of shit happens, and it's just like a really, really shitty movie. It's like really racist, really problematic. And like what ended up happening was that the lead actor wrote and starred in the movie and also produced the movie and pitched it to PureFlix and was like, I want to make this movie. And PureFlix was like, absolutely not. This is not pure enough to put on our streaming platform. And the dude was like, well, I'm going to do it anyway. Started to make this movie with absolutely no budget. And like, you can tell that it had absolutely no budget. Like, it literally looks like shit. And the guy is such a bad actor. And then PureFlix came back to him and was like, actually, you're not allowed to star in anything that we're not producing, so we're now going to produce this movie. So in the end,
how the fuck does that work?
I have no idea. I have literally no idea. I guess in his contract, I don't know.
I can't believe he conned them.
What?
I can't believe he conned them.
He literally conned them.
This is literally the producers.
Yeah, to get them to produce this movie. So they ended up producing this movie. It is literally the shittiest movie in the world. And like, she's so funny because she's like, there's a scene in the movie where the protagonist is like in an elevator. The elevator's broken, gets stuck, and like he can't wait for the repairman to get out, so he rips the elevator doors open, gets out, and leaves a note on the elevator that says, I am broken, please do not use me, danger, and walks away. And then he walks down the hallway, a lesbian couple walks past him, and then some dude behind him walks past the lesbian couple, looks at this couple, and rips the danger sign off the elevator door so that they get in the elevator and die. So it's like,
what the fuck?
It's like homophobic, like to a T homophobic. And like, it's so funny watching her, who's this like lesbian, watching this Christian movie, being like, the homophobia is ripe.
The flavor. The absolute fucking bigoted flavor of it all.
Dead ass. So, I was watching hers purely for the Pure Flix content. Because I was like, there's no way that something like this exists. But
it's mind-blowing. But also, Christians will spend a lot of money on stupid shit.
Look at the Hobby Lobby.
Hobby Lobby!
That's all I gotta say.
Bro, that shit has me fucked up. I, like, can't get over Hobby Lobby. I can't believe that I had to learn that through a meme on twitter.com.
Yeah, man, it's fucked up.
It's fucking wild. I hate this shit. I hate it here.
Mom, can you come get me? I hate it here.
Mom, can you call me and tell me that I have to come home right now? Thanks.
Me!
All of us at some point, let's be real.
What?
I said all of us at some point, let's be real.
A dead ass, yeah, me. So that was my last thing.
Oh my god, Liz, we are out of vibe check hell.
Vibe check is fucking over. We made
check
it, everyone.
really fucking checked my vibes and absolutely destroyed my whole body, self, mind, spirit, my self-worth, my ego, my id, my superego.
But the question is, did we pass the vibe check?
We came to the House of Vibes and we I think we passed.
I also think we passed. I think we did a pretty good job.
Good job, Liz. Really great shit.
Good job, Aaron.
Good hustle out there.
Thanks for coming to the Vibe House with me. Thanks for vibing with me.
Thanks for just like vibing with me, like keeping the vibes real.
We're just like straight vibing on this podcast.
Disgusting.
Oh my god. So next week, what are we gonna be talking about, Aaron? We're very excited.
We are so excited to be bringing on another guest.
My good friend Emily from high school.
Yes.
And also college. We're still friends now. We're not just friends from high school, but like
y'all are friends, and she's great. We're going to be bringing her on to talk about a game that we are all so fucking excited for.
I'm literally shaking in my boots.
It's insane how much anticipation is just purely seeping through every aspect of my life. I'm starting to just hear people's voices in like the Peanuts adult voices that they talk in, where like nothing makes fucking any sense, but instead of in the Peanuts voice, it's in those little squeaky animal sounds, because we are going to be talking about Animal Crossing! That's a great expression. Holy shit.
Thank you. I practice it literally daily.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Sometimes I just like sit around and go.
It's so good. This game has us all very excited. So we're gonna be like dead ass just deep diving into this specific topic of Animal Crossing with Emily next week. It's going to be so great, and we're going to be talking about this in anticipation of the game coming out March 20th. Is that correct?
Yep, comes out March 20th.
Okay.
Yep. So we're going to do this episode. Next week we're going to be talking about how we got introduced to Animal Crossing. We're going to be talking about some Animal Crossing faves, some Animal Crossing least favorites, some most hated characters, which I have a couple, so I hope everyone's excited to hear about me being mad about these Animal Crossing characters. And kind of our expectations and hopes and dreams for this new game that we are so excited about.
Absolutely. Liz, did you see that that meme that was circulating around Twitter for a little while that was like the Tom Nook giving an announcement from the last Nintendo Direct, and they were like, for the next 24 hours, all crime is legal.
Yes, I have seen that.
I saw that tweet, and then Deirdre had sent that tweet to me and was like, Liz definitely has a list of Animal Crossing characters that she would absolutely kill if given the chance.
I was literally just going to say, on my way to Pietro's house.
Don't spoil it!
Alright, never mind. On my way to Redacted's house to kill him. Okay, deadass me and New Leaf, though, literally every day of my life.
There's so much. I can't wait to talk about this. If we get into it now, like, I'm gonna
I know,
have
we're
no
never
content
gonna
for
get
next
to the end
week.
Exactly. Okay, so
But yeah.
tune in next week.
Tune in for Emily. I can't wait. I'm literally so excited.
Feral for Animal Crossing. Emily is gonna be so excited. Put it in her calendar literally 3 weeks ago. She is ready to go.
I'm revved up. I am fired up. My wheels are oiled. I don't know how a car works. I don't have a license.
The wheels can't be oiled. You're fucking slide off the road, Aaron.
Fucking hydroplaning all through New Jersey. I have a permit. It's okay.
Oh my god. Okay, we have to.
Anyway, thanks for joining us. Goodbye. Have a good night.
Bye.